Hey everyone, this is Alchemisted, and this is Star Trek Online Rise of the Redshirt. Once again, we are back, and this time we have made the jump to the PlayStation 4. I have been hard at work over the course of the last year rebuilding my PC character on the PS4 due to connection issues I'm having with cryptic servers. I've talked about it a million times before, so I'm not going to go over that again. But, ooh, put Photon Grenade back on. That Photon Grenade is vicious. Photon Grenade is the ender of worlds. So yeah, this is on the PS4 now. The UI is very different from the PC. You've got a bunch of radial commands that you can set to auto-fire, although I kind of make it a point not to set buffs to auto-fire because, honestly, the cutscenes in this game don't need any more help ruining themselves. So, yeah, I have rebuilt this character, much of him at least. There are still things that I'm missing, such as the, unfortunately, I missed out on the OG nanopulse weapons that they were giving out last year. Hopefully they'll give them out again this year, uh, because the PC had them for multiple years in a row, so hoping for that. I'm not gonna stop begging for that, because I want my nanopulse Lurpa. God damn it, I deserve my nanopulse Lurpa. Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, I've rebuilt the Waglinde. Actually, this version of the Waglinde, it's not even a fleet ship, but she is quite. I'd actually say she's a bit more formidable than her PC counterpart. Maybe I'm just better at building ships than I was. You know, maybe it's just all this time playing the game, I've sort of taken the lessons to heart. I am using the secondary shield projector and the not the cohesion, but the disruption pulse emitter uh, for the extra 33% phaser damage and all the various buffs that these give you to control expertise and shield regeneration and such. Shields are a bit of a weakness right now, mostly because I haven't upgraded the Covariant shield at all. It's the only one of the big four ship components that isn't at Mark 14 right now. But hull-wise, this thing is a beast, and damage-wise, she easily outperforms the version of the Waglinde on the PC. Got a frog in my throat. Excuse me. So, the I have two. You can actually have multiple omnidirectional beam arrays of the same type as long as they're phasers, at least on your ship. At least right now you can. Theoretically, you could have three of these, but I don't have the omnidirectional pulse phaser beam array because I like my phasers to match. So I'm using some agony phasers because they have sort of a very plasma-like proc. The prolonged engagement phaser beam array, which is great for the weapons haste. The trilithium enhanced weapons array, which also fires faster. It's basically omnidirectional prolonged beam array. It doesn't have the weapons haste though, but it's pretty damn good. And the straight up omnidirectional phaser beam array you can get through crafting. It's pretty dope. And I've got the Terran Force warp core, which is probably one of the better warp cores in the game. The quantum phase converter, which anybody who is using phasers should have. Just have it. If you're using phasers, because the devs are not going to help you in the phaser damage department, at least not until the Bajoran Interceptor. So, yeah, there aren't that many, aside from the what the hell is it called? Synergistic retrofitting set. There aren't that many sets in the game that boost phaser damage a significant amount. Mostly it's like 7 to 15% damage boost compared to like the 20 to 30% disruptor and polaron damage boosts that other gear sets give you. So yeah, the devs don't want to help you with phasers most of the time. So if you're using a phaser ship, you definitely want to have that quantum phase converter on that ship, if not this two-piece set. Or you want to go for that Bajoran Interceptor, because that Domino console will give you essentially 15% additional, again, 15%, but it'll give you 15% additional phaser damage, so that will be basically the equivalent of having about 4 or 5 tactical consoles on a Galaxy class or whatever ship you're using. So you definitely want to have that in addition to your normal tactical consoles if you want to be dealing damage, particularly if you're a Federation starship and you want to use cannon armament. I would also recommend the Withering torpedo launchers the Terran Task Force photon torpedo launchers, as they are incredibly mean. So, yeah, this is actually quite a bit. She's actually quite a bit more effective than her PC counterpart. I was actually quite surprised by how much better this version's performance is. Ground combat is still kind of iffy. Ground combat honestly feels better on the console than it does on PC. At least in shooter mode, it does. I still sort of like wish I could just switch it to RPG mode and do it that way with like a USB keyboard, but it is what it is. The menus. It's got a nice full screen menu, so you get like the full screen LCARs for everything. Unfortunately, the menus are broken and have been forever. You see, I'll give you an example. Right now I have it set to TNG, but it's a Federation default color palette, and you may think that, well, the color palette's not designed to change, except it is. There's no reason why I shouldn't be seeing the TNG color palette here. And this has been since it launched this way. So yeah, these color palettes, they don't work. The only thing they work for is your like in-game UI with your ability trays and stuff. And I accidentally popped my Lurpa there. Ah, get off. Get off. Ah. So, yeah. It's like the only thing it really works for is these ability trays. That's the only thing the color scheme works for. You notice it's not even really working on ground. Like, it works for here. You see like the sort of pink like highlight for like the TNG, the gold and the pink. But see my weapon where it's displaying my weapons? That's the same old 2409 blue LCARS color scheme. So yeah, it's not working. This is the Galaxy interior they recently released, and while it is a hefty price, it's about 20 cryptic points. Or, cryptic points, what the hell? About 20 Zen to get this bridge. And for 20 Zen, you get a bridge, and it is a, like, TNG-era variant of said bridge. So you have, like, people walking around in the lower decks with TNG uniforms as opposed to the Odyssey uniforms they should be wearing. For 20 bucks, you get this, and you don't get a modern variant, which strikes me as odd, considering the Intrepid bridge has two variants. It has a TNG-era variant and a 2409 variant, or 2410, rather, variant, with like, the bridge officers in Odyssey uniforms and modern LCARs. Strikes me as odd that for a $20 price tag, you do not get a modern variant of this interior. Hopefully that is added later, because that is a bit of an oversight. If you were willing to do it for the Intrepid, Voyager wouldn't have existed without Star Trek The Next Generation. Why isn't there for the Galaxy? However, I did say that it would be a instant purchase for me back in the day. I've said it for years, and so here we are. Now, because I was remaking this character, and I did pay cash money for things on PC, I resolved sort of on principle that I wasn't going to be spending any money to rebuild this character on console. That's because of their decision to not allow you to transfer lifetime benefits or veteran benefits or any of your purchases or gear or equipment from PC, which the reason they gave for that is because they wanted everybody to be on an even start, which, considering the power creep in this game, within a month that excuse was pretty much invalid. Because everybody was already superpowered and everybody was already throwing massive amounts of money, which was the point. They wanted you to rebuy everything. They didn't want anybody to have a footing above everybody else, was their excuse, but it was a really poor excuse. But this interior is gorgeous, and I like to say it was well worth the work I put in to get the dilithium for it. They did a really great job with it. And there is a video on YouTube called Tour of the Galaxy where I show you around on it on my channel. So I'll link that in the description if you want to check out the full Galaxy interior. It is really cool. I had an idea to like go into Stage 9 and sort of like compare and contrast the Stage 9 version of the Galaxy Interior and the STO version of the Galaxy Interior. So if you guys would like to see that, let me know. But we are here to continue Rise of the Redshirt. And I just like this. I like that you can see outside the window. They did a fantastic job with this. I can't wait to see if they ever do the Sovereign, which they gotta do the Sovereign. They did the Galaxy, they gotta do the Sovereign now. Can't wait to see what it looks like, because that will be straight up out of... If they do the Sovereign the same way they did this, that'll be straight up out of Elite Force 2. Elite Force 2 is really good. Some of it. Not the part on the Enterprise. Not the part on the Enterprise when it's being taken over. I hate that level, but most of Elite Force is good. Final Boss is kind of dumb. But most of Elite Force 2 is good. Alright, I'm done. This is the Miranda. I don't... How do I change trophies? Access library files. I don't think I can change trophies in here. In fact, I don't think that you have a trophy room in here at all. Like, I don't think there's any place for your trophies, which is fine. It's a fine trade-off to make. But, yeah. It's good. There's, the, oil painting of the Enterprise. And, yeah, I tried to jump on the couch just now. It should be noted that X is everything. So, you X to jump, you hold X to enter your menu, and you use X to interact, which, yes, results in some very awkward moving around in interaction to do something, to do things, because you use X to do everything, so it gets kind of aggravating. Those poor hydraulics. Alright. But, last time we left off, we were going to start the Cardassian arc. So let's go ahead and jump into that. Cardassian struggle. Okay, lost and found. I don't think I can replay that. No. That's basically just report to Deep Space Nine. Spoils of war.
The True Way has stolen an orb the Obsidian Order failed to return after the war. Although we don't know for certain where they have taken it, we have been getting dozens of reports of raiders hitting civilian ships near the Badlands. Starfleet intelligence believes the raids are related to True Way activity in that region. We know that area is a haven for smugglers and criminals of all types. It stands to reason that the True Way are using it to avoid capture as well. They may even be using some of the Maquis bases that were abandoned before the Cardassian War. We believe that the Badlands are therefore the most likely place for the True Way to be hiding the stolen orb. I know the Badlands are dangerous, but I have complete confidence in the ship and her crew.
And for doing spoils of war, you will get... Let's make that primary. You will gain access to vendor trash, pretty much. By this point, you've been well crafted with a crafting system, and if you don't have if you don't have gear that you're keeping up to date, then you probably picked up better gear someplace else. So, yeah, here's your vendor trash. So, Sarrish Menna is a character introduced in the revised Cardassian arc. I did a full playthrough of the original Cardassian arc with Andrew Hyde, up to the Temporal Director of Lordice of Special Tactics. That's also on my channel. I'll link that too in the description if you want to see what the Cardassian arc used to look like. But she is a major character in the revised Cardassian arc. She is basically their stand-in for Kurland. Because Kurland was voiced by Bordicus, and now that Star Trek Online is a Screen Actors Guild project, or it's been that for a while, they can't really have Bordicus voicing Kurland that much anymore. So, they have Sarrish Menna take over basically take over the duties as the face of Deep Space Nine, as the commanding officer of Deep Space Nine, particularly in the recent featured episode Scylla and Charybdis, where it's Sarrish Menna giving all the orders and Kurland just quoting the meme one more time. It is really sad. Like, I don't want to... Like, on the one hand, I don't want to see Borticus and his character kind of, like, shuffled off to the side. On the other hand, like, I don't know. I know Borticus was really proud of voicing Kurland. It just kind of sucks that because he's not a SAG actor, Kurland's just been kind of like moved off into the background, despite the fact that he is in command of one of the most important posts in the Alpha Quadrant. Begin spoils of war. The game has had a new lighting engine as well, and the lighting engine is really hit or miss. It lights the environments really well. Your characters, not so much. Your characters will often simply be just like dark shadow, like shadow people in brightly lit rooms, because the lighting engine, they were worried more about making environments look good and worried less about what that would do to character lighting and dialogue and cutscenes and such. So a lot of the cutscenes have been destroyed by this new lighting engine. We've arrived in the Badlands, sir. Our intelligence indicates that this is an area of heavy true-way activity. However, the plasma storms and gravitational anomalies interfere with our sensors. We will need to search the Badlands for signs of true-way occupation. And we're receiving a distress call.
To any ships in the vicinity, I am under attack by a group of Cardassian ships identifying themselves as the True Way. Please, render assistance immediately.
Alright. Back the camera off. Did I mention this version of the Wuglinde is a bit more powerful than the PC version?
Thanks for the assistance. I knew I never should have cut through the Badlands, but it takes weeks off my journey.
What happened?
Well, I was just hauling my cargo through the Badlands, and I passed some strange anomaly. I took a scan of it on my way by, and then a bunch of Cardassian ships appeared out of nowhere. They ordered me to surrender in the name of Gul Kardec and the True Way.
What did you do?
My freighter is obviously no match for them. I tried to get away, but they disabled my engines. They were just about to board me, I believe, when you arrived. If you're looking for the True Way, I would head for that anomaly.
Thank you. I'd recommend you repair your engines and exit the area. So, I actually gotta be real careful to, like, not go full throttle on this because of pedal to the metal and how irritating it is. It'll constantly interrupt you in conversation, it'll interrupt, like, cutscenes. Like, I want the damage buff, but it's incredibly annoying. So, you're gonna see me doing a lot of this, a lot of 3/4, so I'm not accidentally triggering it. It does mean that I'm gonna be going a bit slower, but, hey, that's the price you pay to not be annoyed by pedal to the metal every 2 seconds.
You have fallen into our trap, and now never looking our fate.
Pretty sure I will. Give me your stuff. Okay. I wanted to make sure that I was being heard, because this microphone is a bit wonky to use on a PS4. It's a standing mic, so yeah, it's a little bit weird. It's been kind of quiet in the past. This anomaly appears to be some kind of tear in the fabric of the space-time continuum. It appears dormant, but I believe it could be widened to become a portal. I am detecting traces of orb energy in the area. I believe I might be able to follow it. Alright. Hail Commander Sarrish. I think she was a lieutenant commander when this first... when this mission was first released?
Sarrish here.
So yeah, she's gotten a promotion, and I think she gets a promotion after... 2800? We've located a trail of orb energy. We're about to follow it. We could use some backup. We don't really need the backup.
Acknowledged. I will be along in the Defiant shortly.
Thank you. Like, I don't need no backup. Like, yeah, there it is. I'm in a Galaxy-class starship. I am the backup. Like, I am the boomstick. Alright, attack speed. Did I mention this version of the Waglinde was a bit more powerful than before? Have I mentioned that yet? Scans indicate this is a true-way Moonbase. I have located an appropriate place to beam in. Are you ready to beam down? Yes. So who are we taking? Okay, here's a group of people who hopefully won't interfere with cutscenes. That's become a pet peeve, is like bridge officer and captain abilities just destroying cutscenes. I can't bring my Jem'Hadar because I made my Jem'Hadar command specialist, and he just has like all kinds of like weird shit that appears on you. We have transported inside the True-Way base. I am detecting orb energy coming from somewhere nearby. I am also detecting a number of Cardassian life signs. Looks like we'll have to fight our way through to the orb. Shotgun. I call shotgun. I remember when you had to blast your way past all those. That's an interesting alarm.
Hostile parties have entered the base. All forces move to high alert.
Arrow? Excuse me. Get down. So melee combat is kind of weird on console.
The orb is mine. You will never have it.
What the hell? Oh, it was a tribble. Okay. Melee combat is really weird on console because you can set your buffs to auto-fire. This is the reason why I don't like auto-fire, is it's constantly interfering with your melee swings. So you're like you look, see your animation, like you start swinging and then it's just like jerks back to like an animation, and like you're basically fighting the game to just let you do something. Let's go ahead and pop The Echo Papa. That guy. Not as powerful in ground combat yet as I was on PC, but I'll get there. But yeah, the what you have set to auto fire has priority over everything else you do. So it will constantly just attempt to cancel out of whatever you're doing right now so it can auto fire, as opposed to friggin' waiting for you to be done with it. And that's something that they really need to fix. See there, I tried to roll out of the way of that, and instead it wouldn't let me do it. That is like one of the temporal agent things. Hunter here is a temporal agent, so he's got like all kinds of like time sorcery now. There we go. But you let me shoot. Let me... What the hell? So that's something else that's happening. Oh my god, really? How long was that you wouldn't let me do shit just so you could turn on target optics? Die. The autofire is really good, but it's also real problematic. It screws me over just as often as it helps me, to be honest. At least in ground combat. In space, auto-fire is pretty badass. I can just, like, set my bridge officers to, like, auto-fire abilities when necessary, and then I can just let them do their jobs instead of constantly having to yell at them and, like, click like mad on an ability tray. There's a little preview of things to come with that shuttle. I doubt it was intended as such when this mission was first released, but sure as hell is now. Just saying, I got a good idea of where they're going with the next expansion. And I'm not just talking about the Gamma Quadrant, because, of course, it's a Dominion-themed expansion. Of course they're going to have the Gamma Quadrant, which is going to be great. But where they're going story-wise. Hi, I'm here to kick your ass and take your orb.
Greetings. I am Gul Kardec. This orb is the property of the Cardassian government. The true Cardassian government. The true way. And you can't have it. Guards! Fools, you will never defeat me.
That was weird. Get the fuck over here. I really need to put lunge back on. What's going on in here? Let's take that off because the nanopulse lurva breaks cutscenes. Oh, that's one of Locke's things. Locke has a healing grenade. I do like that each specialization has a way for the user to recover health. So you don't have to be entirely dependent on a dedicated doctor in your away team, although you should always have one. You should always have a dedicated medic. Gul Kardec has left the building. Is there anything that turns off that alarm? Hi, Lima.
Dear Kardec, you can imagine my surprise to receive a message from you. I must commend you on the clever way you opened a pathway to our universe. We shall make good use of it, and you have our gratitude. If we can ever return the favor, let me know. Regarding that other matter you speak of, while we certainly share your detest for the Federation and are willing to assist you in opposing them in theory, there are certain territorial issues we will have to iron out before we feel comfortable committing military forces. Perhaps we can arrange a meeting in the usual place.
Do. So, Marilita. Marilita is Captain Killy. Discovery is also park bench. I thought that said something like pickup pad. Discovery is also something that would require in another video to talk about, because my thoughts on Discovery are complex. I have complicated feelings towards Discovery. Yeah. Not entirely positive feelings toward Discovery. We have retrieved the Orb of Possibilities, sir. Are you ready to beam up? I'm pretty sure that Pran used to use the Breen transporter effects. I'm fine with him using the Starfleet transporter effect. He's on a Starfleet vessel being beamed up by Starfleet transporters, so of course he would use that. Wondering if Revan uses it. No, Revan doesn't use it. Revan uses Starfleet as well. We'll see. We'll see if the opposite faction boffs do it. Incoming hail from Commander Sarrish.
We are approaching the Badlands. What is your status?
That is not the Defiant interior. That is one of the default interiors, because of the funky, crappy blue L-cars. We have secured the orb. Gul Kardec has escaped. We are about to attempt to track him.
I will be along in the Defiant momentarily, and may the prophets smile upon you.
I'm just gonna roll with that. And on you, Commander.
Looks like I arrived just in time.
Yes, you arrived just in time to be my backup singer on this op. Attack speed. I have, complex feelings on the prophets as well. I don't like them. That's for damn sure. Sir, I am detecting a plasma wake leading away from here. Wait. Yeah, that's something else the autofire does, is it screws you out of dialogues and interacts as well. Gets real annoying in... Let's turn that off. Gets real annoying in queues like a mirror invasion. Sir, I'm detecting a plasma wake leading away from here. I think it belongs to Gul Kardec's ship. I believe I can modify our deflector dish to emit ionizing radiation, which should interact with the plasma wake, illuminating it. The illumination effect won't last very long, though. We will have to hurry. Alright, make the modifications. Prepare to emit radiation on my command. Do. Oh. Don't do that. It's a reflex. Heading like max throttle. It's one I need to fight now that I pedal to the metal equipped. Unless I want to take it off. Oh, he made a beeline straight for the anomaly. the only other place to go. The very loud anomaly. Scans indicate that this anomaly has opened into a portal leading to the so-called mirror universe, a parallel dimension adjacent to ours. Hold on, sensors detect ships emerging from the portal. Shields up.
Those look like mirror universe ships.
Yeah, no. Screw your tractor beams. I hate tractor beams. Hate them. Did I mention more powerful ship console? Because it's pretty good.
Congratulations on retrieving the orb. You must return it to the temple on Bajor. I will notify the vet that you are on your way.
Acknowledged. Are you ready to leave the system? Depart system. Oops, I forgot to take the NX off. Oh well. Okay, we can zoom back in.
Congratulations on your recovery of the orb from Gul Kardec. We request that you return the orb to the temple in Hathon on Bajor. I'm afraid that we have not seen the last of Gul Kardec. But for now, the people of Bajor will be elated at the return of an orb we thought lost forever. Good work.
So I'd like to point out there's a dialogue error here. She says the Bajoran temple in Hathon, which is correct. However, the text is Hathor, which is the Egyptian goddess of... Which... Egyptian? I don't know. Maybe Egyptian? But Hathor is an ancient goddess of sex, drugs, and rock and roll. These are kind of different... Contextually, very vastly different things. So maybe might want to do a little bit of a text fix there. So, for your doing of this thing, rescuing this orb, you are rewarded by the Bajoran people with vendor trash. So just pick a thing, anything, except for the lockbox, and sell it. Or salvage it, because that's something you can do now. Salvage item. Salvage item. Salvage item. Yes. And sell the junk. To destroy. Destroy the Discovery lockbox. Don't need that shit. The only lockbox I have actually given a shit about in this game has been the undiscovered lockbox. That has been it. That is Spoils of War. The first mission in the new Cardassian arc. And, I don't know when this is going on YouTube. Or when the edited episode is also... It's going to be on YouTube and Twitch, so... I don't know when that's going to be. Ooh, Unknown Nebula. So I'm hoping for Rise of the Redshirt used to be on Fridays, so I'm hoping on resuming that. And somebody is cosplaying Zap Brannigan. And that is Zap Brannigan. Yeah. It says something that the Discovery uniforms are spot on as a parody of Star Trek. It should tell you something.